As always, your WhatsApp voice notes, text or voice notes are welcome on a range of issues we've been speaking about. 061 766 0355, including which mosque of significance in the country we should be featuring, because we've done that with 5 or 6 already, and today's the turn of the Bosmont Mosque, west of Johannesburg. Faizel Sallie with me is the chairperson of the management committee of the Bosmont Mosque. Faizel, salamu alaikum, good talking to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and assalamu alaikum to all the viewers and listeners out there.
I'm looking at your pre-Ramadan fate chop, which I was clearly not there because, as you would know, through Shakil, we were in Cape Town getting him married. So that's why that marks the reason for the absence. So good talking to you. But listen, we've been asked by people to talk about different mosques and where they come from and their history, right? So what is the history of the Bosmont Mosque?
You know, I've asked your producer just to put something, if you can, link something. I coincidentally took a photo of a plaque. And
okay.
maybe I was, you know, we caught up with Ramadan, and alhamdulillah, I saw on our Facebook page, happy birthday, Mubarak birthday. And for a moment, I forgot that's the date we've got, 6th of April, 1966. That's the date that masjid was officially opened. Now, people talk about it, and I don't know how many of our forefathers are alive, and may Allah Ta'ala grant them Jannah. We went through a sad period, but we'll talk about that a little later. But that is the foundation, a plaque, and alhamdulillah, the wisdom of our forefathers, recording the date so nobody will lose that date in the future. So when you come into
it, yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed it, but as soon as you come into the masjid, on your left-hand side, you'll see that plaque of 6 April 1966. Now, I wasn't around. I was only born that year. And a lot of people that remembers that date will talk about Sheikh Abdul Basit coming to Bosmont and reciting on that particular day. And that was really, I think, a highlight, and I would say put Bosmont on the map itself. And I wondered why my parents, or my father in particular, always had Sheikh Abdul Basit records, LPs. And coincidentally, I haven't got rid of them yet. I still have some, you know, that he had, and he had a fancy, whatever radio systems they had. And Sheikh Abdul Basit, and maybe I can feel for that when I go onto YouTube and I see Sheikh Abdul Basit reading or reciting the Quran.
So well, there you are. So I'll tell you what, make sure you get those records saved onto different platforms, because I mean, we've heard him elsewhere, but you know, people need to hear him in Bosmont. And as you've said, yeah, I've certainly heard that you know, he came to the Bosmont Mosque when the mosque was opened up. So I think you're quite right. So let's talk about the mosque and who it serves now.
Okay, if you look at the current masjid, the one important thing is people have, you know, with the falling of the Group Areas Act and opening up of all communities, a lot of our generation, and I'm young, have moved to the surrounding areas. You'd find them in Maritzburg, Florida, even now Emmarentia. But the nice thing that is happening, that people do not lose sight of their roots. People still from the surrounding areas come to Bosmont Masjid, particularly Jumu'ah, particularly Trawih, Eid. Whenever there is an opportunity, you will find people from outside the community still coming to Bosmont Masjid. You know, interesting, we're talking about that yesterday, and part of the programs of Ramadan, our Imam, Shahansar, he has a program on a Sunday, now during Ramadan, where he talks about certain things. Coincidentally, Bida was on Sunday, and interact with the community in the masjid. And interesting point, because his father was also one of the first imams of the masjid. And
oh, wow. Okay.
and he recalls Bosmont being the masjid that first opened up for ladies within the community
In the
or
Gauteng
surrounding.
community, yeah, Johannesburg, yeah. Okay, wow.
So if you look at that, and that's why we maybe picked up a bit of flack in the past, where people will say, why is the masjid not open during lockdown? But it was more because of logistical reasons, and also making sure we keep within the protocols of government and things like that.
Yeah.
So
So
alhamdulillah.
let's talk about let's talk about. I mean, we've got about 2 minutes remaining. So one thing you're right. I mean, you're the first mosque in Johannesburg that's opened it up consistently for women to perform prayers. Nowadays, thank Allah, many other mosques are following suit, and let's hope that continues. But the other part is, I mean, there are some distinctive features about the prayers and the du'as that are made in that mosque that you may not find in other mosques or you may find them in a few mosques in Johannesburg, but it's not widespread. Tell me about that.
Okay, the one thing, and again, the late Imam Malik, rahmatullahi, may Allah grant Jannah to Imam Malik. He instilled a few things within the masjid. I must say, Sheikh Ansar want to involve the youth. And let's say after lifting of lockdown, level 1 extension, the one thing was the Ratibul Hadat, that they started bringing in at least once a month, the last Thursday of the month, there would be that event in the masjid. And I think one particular one, they encouraged the youth. So we want the youth involved. It was well attended. And now the Imam with a massive tar want to involve the school, the madrasa, the afternoon madrasa. Now, if people are not familiar with the Bosmont Masjid, you have a Muslim school on the premises, and we have an afternoon madrasa as well. And just what they're trying to instill with the youngsters is such an important aspect that we don't want to lose our heritage. I had one scholar there the other night, and he used the term, he said, you said it, Faizel, not me. He likes to come to the Malay Masjid. You know, the tradition, bringing the takbir in on Eid days, during Ramadan, you know, the arkans during Ramadan, when on Eid day, bringing the Imam in with the tonka, leading him to the mimbar. Those are all aspects. And the one important, and if people are not yet linked up with Bosmont Masjid Facebook, you can do so, because we broadcast our lectures, Friday lectures, whenever Imam does his nikah classes on a Tuesday night, now not during Ramadan, we broadcast that as well. And we broadcast our Eid. Coincidentally, our Trawi Salah is being broadcast every night on Facebook Live.
So every reason to go there, absolutely. Let me wrap up. You know, you mentioned Sheikh Ansar and Imam Malik, and of course I know both of them, but also, you know, we can't not talk about the Bosmont Mosque without the historical figure of Imam Khafiling, right? And he's been there. I mean, he's passed on now, but for a long time, even as a lighty, we knew that he was absolutely legendary. Tell me about what you know about him.
Look, I was around with Imam Malik, with Imam Khafiling, and yes, he was now maybe my dad and them's friends, and how we interact. There's a few things I can't say on live radio, how Imam, what you normally remember of the Imams and how they deal with them. And that is, you know, maybe being a committee member and want to be harsh on kids, some people would remind me his kindness and how he used to treat kids while he was Imam. And of course, going on social media, you know, that time, if anyone, we as Muslims got very little exposure. The takbir, I think there are 2 or 3 clips going around on social media of Imam Khafiling, where the SABC at that point in time would come and they would record them as the Hadat, the Bosmont Jamaat, and also when the takbir, and them a few couple of people that are really good in recording history and keeping it safe, and that is what's important for us. But Imam Khafiling, a legend in his own.
Well, Faisal, let's leave it at that. Do feel free to share, to post the links of your Facebook page, link it to Salam Media, link it to myself as well, and anything else that you think we need to be able to share, because we'd love to share that, absolutely, right? And look forward to seeing you once again at the mosque. Okay, one of the days, sometime soon, inshallah. Faizel Sallie, the chairperson of the Bosmont Mosque in the west of Johannesburg, quite a historical mosque, and he made the point, 6th of April 1966, so we missed the actual anniversary by a few days, but there's a story. Now, we can be talking about your mosque if your mosque fits into the category of a mosque of historical significance in South Africa. We've done a few already. We want to do more. It's up to you. You tell me. Drop us a WhatsApp voice note, the best way to connect with us, 061 766 0355, or you can post comments right now on the various social media pages that we carry for Salam Media. Well, that's it for today's show. We'll do it again tomorrow from 8 to 10 approximately. Thank you for being a part of it. Assalamu alaikum.